kick it.
Hello, all of you slimesters.
Hello.
And welcome once again to Collector's Corner. And this is top tier. This is like, we were gushing over how awesome the display looks. Like, we haven't even got to any of the stuff. But you guys have seen Carl before. Welcome back, Carl.
Hey, it's great to be back.
Up? Hey.
So hopefully you guys remember Carl. He's been featured on our show a couple of times. We have featured him on Collector's Corner before, 90s Nick Tube. Be sure to give him a follow on all the socials. And I've been promised some really cool stuff. Like, I've teased, I don't want to say anything ahead of myself, but I've teased the crew. And the crew were really mad at me when I told them this little bit. They said, but you got to wait. And
Because
they
it was
waited
like
for
3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and you no telling when this episode was going to get recorded or anything. You just said like, "Hey, I got this news, and I'm not telling." So it's like
Pretty much.
Well, I
that's how it
don't
went.
want to blow anything out of proportion, but as a major fan of 90s Nickelodeon, this I was so excited to find this, and I can't wait to share it with you all.
nice.
So we got some really cool stuff. I mean, Carl always has cool stuff. So I'm gonna stop building this up. If you are listening to this, stop listening to this. Go to YouTube and watch this. This is
Watch
something
it. This
you're
is
going.
a visual segment.
This
Very
is
visual.
full show and tell. So go. Well, stop here. Come back to YouTube. Hey, now that you're here, check out this awesome collection with Carl. Carl, take it away. What you got, buddy?
All right, I've curated the items here for tonight, very specific order, and I'm super excited to start. I just saw today. I don't know when you're watching this, but today or maybe yesterday, Splat Attack released the new season, premiere with Splat Stanley.
Mhm.
And so I had to start off with this. So
Oh,
this, I was fortunate to be at the right place, right time to grab this. And I can't do
You
the
do
voice.
not have.
Oh my god!
So
Wow.
let focus. There we go. So this is a Stickly puppet. It's not a screen used one,
Mhm.
but this was built by Rick Lyons, who was the puppeteer of Stickly from 1997 to 1998. He also built all the Sticklies. And this one was built with all original 90s Stickly parts. So for all intents and purposes, it's an authentic Stickly. And recently he built, I think, 2 of these.
Mm-hmm.
And so I grabbed this one. This was the second one he was offering. And he told me that the studios were very particular about who got to walk out with Sticklies at the end of the show's run, and that he was pretty sure all of them are in a dumpster right now. So in terms of original Sticklies, I only know of one that's out there just sold on eBay, and that was by Rick Lyons. He found it in his attic.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I was outbid by like $10.
Oh.
I hate when that happens. But I've got the next best thing, which is a Stickly made by the original puppeteer, the original prop maker, all original parts. So yeah, I'm having some fun with old Stick here.
That's
Rick is super
Man.
cool. We had the chance to talk with Rick. By the time this episode has come out, we actually have an episode featuring Stickly. So it's Rick is an awesome dude, and not to mention the fact that he had a boiler explosion in his home and flooded much of his basement. And
we didn't know he'd be there.
And I fully expected him to not be there for the interview because all hands on deck, major crisis.
Was that the same day that
It was like 2 days after.
Oh wow.
So I knew that he was still, there's a it's going to be an ordeal, and I was expecting him to say, "Hey, I can't make it," and completely understand. No, he still showed up and said,
Wow.
"No, dude, a promise is a promise," and he did his thing, and I will forever be grateful for Rick for taking the time for joining us for that episode, despite
Yeah.
all the things that he was going through. But Rick's a cool guy.
Yeah, I was looking at his resume. I mean, just all of the things he's been a part of,
Oh yeah.
from Sesame Street to Crank Yankers and more. You know, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool guy. So that's Stick Stickley there, and I think going forward he's going to have a place of prominence right behind me somewhere. I think maybe I'll put him right here. There he
Love
goes.
it.
Watching him. Is he watching? Is he...
Oh, simmer down.
You do that really well. I
You
need
do
to
the
work on
voice
my voice.
so well.
Anywho.
That's awesome. All right, so next item here. I kind of fell into collecting Nickelodeon game show contestant shirts. It was not something I really set out to do. They just they happened to fall in my lap in weird kind of situations. And so this one is contestant shirt from Get the Picture.
Oh, sweet.
Wow.
It looks brand
And,
new too.
I've never seen. I don't know why, but you never see contestant shirts out there.
No.
And for as many kids that were on the shows, you'd
Yes.
think, you know, they'd find their ways to thrift stores and things like that. But
Goodwill or something. Yeah.
yeah. Get the Picture. I didn't realize only aired like original episodes for 1 year, and then
It was a
know,
fairly
aired
short
on-
run.
yeah. Mike O'Malley's, foray into TV.
Mm-hmm.
He was very excited on that show.
What show isn't he excited on?
I know.
Well, he wasn't at first. If you actually
I
go
know.
back and watch, I mean, he did, but the first season, and then they were like, okay, you're gonna have to, you're boring the audience. Like, so this is they had a come to Jesus moment, and then he kicked it in gear, and then it was the Mike O'Malley that we all know from Guts.
That's so funny. I have a mutual friend with Mike. So there's a guy I know in the music business, and he grew up with Mike O'Malley and is currently in a band with Mike O'Malley's brother.
Oh,
And
Cool.
I'd love to meet Mike at some point. He
Yes.
seems like a total down to earth, guy. Just doesn't. He's like, yeah, I'm in Hollywood. I don't care. So what? That's the vibe I get. I'm just
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
doing it. But he's told me. So my friend has told me stories of growing up, and I don't know if Mike was a part of this or not, but they all grew up in New Hampshire, and that happens to be where, I don't know if you're into punk music at all, but that's where Gigi Allen is from, like notorious punk,
Wow.
rock and roll star, big old giant quotes there. But they would like play shows with Gigi Allen, and I would suggest go to Google and Google his name, but maybe don't, because you may not want to see what you'll come up with. But I can only imagine the stories that Mike O'Malley has, or maybe he doesn't. Maybe it was just his brother that has the stories. But so, anyways, yeah, Get the Picture T-shirt. If you remember, they wore jumpsuits over
Yes.
this, so that the picture went underneath, and then they wore the jumpsuit. And I don't know this for a fact, but I'm fairly certain that they recycled the orange jumpsuits for Figure It Out, because it's the same jumpsuit.
It
And
wouldn't
it would've-
surprise me.
Yeah, they would have just been like laying in the wardrobe.
Mm-hmm.
So there's an orange team and a yellow team,
Mm-hmm.
and along with the Get the Picture shirt, I also have the Get the Picture back patches.
Ah, sweet.
Okay.
Wow.
There was only 2 of these. If you I can't display them well here.
And you have
But-
both.
I have both. Yeah.
Damn.
If you look at the at Get the Picture, if you watch old episodes, it's the only Nickelodeon game show that has a logo on the back of the kids, and that's because of the mega match, I think was the name of it, the bonus
Mhm.
game at the very end. The entirety of the game, the kids have their back to the camera. So
Mhm.
let's put a big logo on it. But we're Nickelodeon Studios, and we don't have big giant budgets, and so we're just gonna make 2 back patches, 2 yellow ones and 2 orange ones. And if you watch a video, you can see it. Like the corners are fraying, there's gaps. It's because they just safety pinned them to the back of the jumpsuits.
I was gonna
Because
say,
you'd
they
have a
didn't have
different
much,
size
but they had
jumpsuit.
Velcro.
Yeah,
Sure did.
yeah.
Or
So
during the power surge, you'd see that on their back.
yeah, yeah. Power surge.
That's so
I
cool.
posted a clip. I don't know, maybe it's been a year or so ago on my Instagram of of Mike O'Malley trying not to lose it when one of the contestants foibles his answer in the form of a female body part. And
Yep, I remember that clip.
I have two instances where Michael O'Malley lets the F-bomb slip on the show.
Yep.
really,
Yes. If I'll have to show you after the episode if you want to see it. But yeah, he
Yeah.
absolutely let it slip twice on air.
I
Oh
can't
my
believe they
goodness.
left it
Are they
in. They
lucky?
edit
Yeah, they
those.
left it in.
Yeah, it's in there. It's
Wow.
it's not
What
one
the
of
hell,
those.
man?
It is not one of those dubs that someone just puts in there. Like no, that's completely Michael O'Malley slipping.
And that's the difference between 90s Nick.
Really?
Oh man. All right. So this next item, where are we at here? All right, you guys know my affinity for Nickelodeon scripts. So I
Yes.
have a Clarissa Explains It All
Oh,
script, and maybe
Gosh.
going
Get the F
forward,
out of here, man.
you might see a
Wow.
little theme in the rest of the items here. Okay. So here's a
Yeah.
Clarissa Explains It All script. I'll hold it up to the camera there. Hopefully you can read it. It's from the season 3, episode 3, episode called Commitment, or season 4, episode 3. It's called Commitment. It was written by Suzanne Collins, who wrote The Hunger Games. So that's
Yes.
kind of cool connection.
Wow.
Wow.
And then this copy, if you see right in the corner there, Jennifer V. That's Jennifer Vandermoen. She was a casting director on the show. And this was a shooting script, so this would have been on set. And looks like somebody's dessert from the craft services table is kind of smeared on the sides there.
I like
They're
how
on
the
our blog.
logo is different too. That's really neat.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like they would have just, this was the font we have on our computer, so let's roll with it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Love it.
yeah, that was exactly it.
So I've never seen another Clarissa script out in the wild. I'm sure they're out there, but this is the only one I've ever found. So
Just
All right.
random eBay find?
Yeah, like,
I
how'd you
think this
find
one
that?
was an eBay find.
Wow.
Yeah. And this was back in the days when, few people were going to eBay looking for this type of thing. So
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
pay
wow.
much for it. Probably someone's estate sale or something like that,
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to switch to a different camera here to get this next item. This was a total like random thrift store find. Also, Clarissa Explains It All connection here, and it's kind of big. So give me a second here while I pull it in the frame.
Sure.
See, Slimesters, what I was talking about, the display and how awesome this looks. This is top tier look professionalism here. This is great.
Thank you. All right, this is a wardrobe item, and this was worn by Melissa Joan Hart in the season 3, episode 3, episode called Poetic Justice.
Oh,
Oh, one of the sweaters.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's knit, kind of tie dye, and this I found this from an online thrift store, and I was like, that kind of looks familiar. I feel like I've seen that before. By chance, I found the episode it was from, so I snagged it, and I've been able to screen match it by the ways that the shapes and the colors of the beads on the I don't know if you can see it too well there, but around the knitting, there's like random sections of beads. So I've been able to
Yeah.
screen match it by looking at the way the beads are knitted into the cable knit here.
wow.
That's insane.
It's small. She was
That is-
tiny.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, total random kind of, what's the chance of this type thing.
Now,
they
when you
even-
found it, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Did they even list that's what that was, or was it just a hey, here's a shirt
Yeah,
that's for
that's
sale?
exactly what I was
It
gonna
was
ask.
listed
Yeah,
as
how do you
like-
know it was one from the wardrobe?
Yeah, it was listed as like 90s chic, that type of thing. But it looked familiar, and I looked at the pictures they'd posted, and looking at stills from the episode, you can make out, the specific shapes or the way the neckline is stretched out. So you screen match it to the one on screen to be able to, with pretty good confidence say this is the one.
You did that all on your own. Like that's great.
It's
When even the
it's-
people selling it didn't even know what it was.
Yeah, I think for the collector, it's just as much about the hunt
Yeah.
and like
Oh
the
yeah.
thrill of the find as it is being able to display it and see it.
Absolutely.
That's a
That's
fun little thing. I'd love to have more wardrobe, but that's, as a production wrapped, I think just cast took what they wanted, and then the rest went to a thrift store. And even today, like Nickelodeon Studios in California, when a production wraps, they donate the sets to local high schools, and they donate costumes and props to local high schools, and give them the chance to reuse it and recycle it. So this came from a seller in New York, so I wonder if Melissa Joan Hart, I believe, was from New York.
Mhm.
So I wonder if maybe she took it at some point and then, who knows, found its way to a thrift store or secondhand sale, or gave it to a friend who threw the bag away. Who knows? Who knows how it ended up where it did. But that's not uncommon. There was a
No.
Raiders of the Lost Ark Indiana Jones shirt that went up for auction last year. Someone found it at a thrift store. It was just hanging on the rack, and
Wow.
wild how that happens.
That's crazy.
All right, so that's it for the Clarissa Explains It All stuff here. Let me make some room. All right, this next item I got from a crew member that worked on All That. And I think it was a season 1 crew gift. So just an All That t-shirt. It's kind of fun. It's got the Nickelodeon logo on the sleeve there.
Was that from Paul?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. I think it was season 1, maybe season 2. I know for sure he worked on both. And I don't know if it was like a crew gift or just something like, here, you're working on the production, have this, that kind of thing. But yeah, this came out of his collection. And this will be one, another thing when I make some more room up on the wall here. I'll toss it in a frame and put it on display. All right. So
That's
along with that from the crew member I got that from, I also purchased some photo albums. So he took some behind the scenes photos. These have never been seen before, so you guys are the first people to ever see these. So here's an album. This was a Super Dude shoot. So there's, let me go back to this one. There we go. You can see that okay.
Oh, neat.
So let's see. Here's what's a good one?
Mhm.
Yeah,
There we go.
Paul has
There's-
sold a lot of behind the scenes albums of various shows.
So there's Kenan Thompson
Yeah.
and Malcolm Jamal Warner, who directed a
Yeah.
lot of the earlier seasons. He played Theo on Crosby Show. Sorry about my camera going out of focus here. So yeah, there's all kinds of fun pictures in here. Here's Katrina and Keenan hanging out backstage. And then there's one of the library set in here too. Oh yeah, here we go. Quiet, this is a library.
I've always loved that sketch too, the loud librarian. She's great. When I was growing up, it annoyed my parents, but I loved it.
Whenever you
All right,
walked
so-
into the library, did you yell, "Quiet, this is a library"?
I actually did that one time, and yeah, I got yelled at. I was told to leave.
Oh,
I
man.
didn't come in with a blowhorn, but it was funny though to try.
No.
All right, so this next album, I'll show you a few pictures, and it's special for 2 reasons. The first reason is that these are behind the scenes shots of my favorite sketch ever from All That, which is the ice cream truck sketch. You guys remember that, where he wakes up?
Oh yeah,
And
is
then
it when
that
Josh
comes up.
Server just goes nuts and chases for the
Yes.
ice cream man? Yeah.
Yep. I remember being a child and my brother and I kind of reenacting that in our basement because we thought it was so funny. So here's a shot of the ice cream truck from that shot.
Oh,
Nice. That's so great.
And
Did
there's
you love
yeah,
it when
all
he
kinds
yells at the fish and he's like, "No time to feed you now. Ice cream truck's here." Like for no reason.
Let's see. Here's another good one. This one's mostly like crew, not so much
Yeah.
cast in it. But here's a really interesting one. So maybe I shouldn't share this story. No, I should. It's a good story.
Yes, you should.
Dan Schneider, the infamous Dan Schneider.
yes.
Ooh.
So the crew member that I got this from shared with me that the day of this shoot, Dan Schneider showed up. You know, he's a writer on the show, right? He's going to show up, but promptly passed out on set. And so
I
the
think
crew member.
I think this crew member had even shared this photo when he was advertising this to purchase. So it's okay.
Yeah. So here is Dan Schneider passed out on set. According to the crew member, it's not because he was tired, if you can read between the lines there.
Yeah.
Perhaps he's under the influence of something. And
He was up all night, writing. So he was working really hard.
Sure. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, he was writing. Well, RIDING.
Yeah. Here's another one. Josh Server right behind him. They're all posing with
Yeah.
him.
that was the one.
He's just oblivious to it. So that's a few back behind the scenes photos. This last item, also a all that item. Do you guys remember the Spice Boys sketches once Nick Cannon joined?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is the boy power pin that was on Dead
Boy
Spice.
power.
Right.
Boy power.
If you look at Dead Spice, who was the skeleton.
The skeleton.
Yeah. This was on Dead Spice.
Oh
And
man, that's
another
great.
one, I remember enjoying as a child. When I watch him now, I'm like, oh, I thought this was funny, huh? But, I wish. So my brother and I were in a band with a good friend of ours, and we had the fortunate opportunity to be contestants on America's Got Talent several years back. And part of that was getting to hang out with Nick Cannon a little bit. He was the host of the show.
That's
So I
cool,
wish at the
man.
time that I remembered that I was like just getting back into Nickelodeon nostalgia. I was like right at that age where it was started to be fun to think about my childhood again.
Mm-hmm.
So I really wish I had remembered some of those. What was he? Sweaty Spice? Was that?
Yeah, Sweaty Spice.
Yeah, I wish I had remembered some of his lines to feed back to him between takes. But so yeah, boy power. There you go.
Boy power.
Could you imagine this sketch on today?
No.
No.
Being joked about today.
I'd do it. I'd do it just to see
a
the
time
dumpster fire that would
capsule.
happen.
Yeah, you would.
I'm like, oh, I upset somebody, and then somebody else thought it was funny, and I don't really care.
All right. This next item I talked about the last time I was on, so I wanted to be able to show it to you all. This is there's a little background here. This is not the actual screen used item. This is from the master mold, though. So I don't know. Yep. Yeah, actually, no. This is the talisman from Are You Dangerous Soup. So the original one was cement, and DJ. It's kind of a notorious story now. DJ McHale tells about how he kept it on his door stoop as a door stopper, and then one day it was missing. Somebody stole it. So who knows where it is? When I posted this on Facebook right after I got it in a Are You Afraid of the Dark group, DJ commented, and you could tell I could just see his eyebrows raised a little bit. I didn't say what it was or anything. And he was like, "Where did you get that?"
Yeah.
But this is a resin mold master. So every time you make a mold, a new mold, you'd make a master. That way you can make molds again from it. And this one I've been able to screen match all the little, notches and sculpting marks and things like that to the screen used one. So I know it came from the same mold. And there's a lot of these out there that are very similar, but either the tips of the wings are the wrong count, or the eyebrows have the wrong amount of scrapes through that. Yeah. So I don't know if this was related to production at all. But there's a good chance. I gotta think like somehow it was related to the production one. They had to have come out of the same mold or something.
Well, did it come from Montreal?
It came from Canada. It did come from
there
Canada.
you go.
Oh, then it's probably official.
Yep. And
That's
it's
cool.
interesting when you see like a TV show or a movie shot, what you see on screen is a distortion of reality because of the lens they use, right? The lens is round. And so sometimes you see something in person and it's like, oh, well, that's smaller than I saw on TV or, and a good example of this is Harrison Ford's hat in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. In the airplane scene when they're in the cockpit, the camera is so close that the hat looks almost like a bowler hat. Like it's really rounded. It doesn't have the, sharp lines that Indy's head is known for. And that's because of the lens distortion. So that you also get that effect with the gargoyle here. On screen, his face looks a little whiter, and that's because of lens distortion. I should write DJ and see what kind of size lenses they were using and try to replicate. But yeah, he sits on the shelf, and much like my Zebo mask, he faces me towards my desk, and so every time I look up, I get a.
He comes out every Halloween like Elf on the Shelf.
He always
causes
knows what your
destruction.
greatest fear is.
Greatest fear is some of those items going missing.
I do feel the fear.
There you go.
And DJ will message you and be like, "Are you missing anything?"
Oh man.
All right.
Okay.
When we did the Go Figure, and I brought out that little nun. I don't remember if you remember.
I remember the nun.
That.
It's like that was mine.
Yeah, and he was.
Where'd you
Oh,
get
that's
that?
mine. That's mine. Where'd you find that? After the call, he went looking for it because he was so determined. He sent me one. He sent me an email. Said, "Oh, I found her. She was safe. She was hidden behind my picture frames. Those crazy nuns."
Yeah.
What, he thought that you broke into his house and stole his nun?
I mean, he's used to people stealing these things, apparently.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He messaged you like right away.
Yeah, like within minutes.
I was shocked to find out that he only owns like 2 or 3 items, props from the series. He's got the treasure chest from the 2-parter and the claw and from the pilot, and no longer has the gargoyle talisman. So that's sad. I've reached out to many prop makers and production people that worked on Are You Afraid of the Dark, and either that stuff is long gone, or I don't know, they're hoarding it or something, because none of it's seen the light of day,
There's been so many props on that show.
Yeah.
So many cool stuff, so many iconic props.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. I wonder who has the stone chair.
Oh yeah.
It's out in the woods.
Comment if you know where it is. Comment below.
And leave your number so I could try to contact you.
Yeah, seriously.
Leave your contact
We'll
information.
work up a deal, just like Sardo. But I'm losing on the deal.
Have you seen my vomit?
Oh, what a great character. All right. Do we have any Roundhouse fans in the house tonight?
I don't know if we
There
do.
you go.
Kat, do we have any?
I don't know of any. Do you, Manny? Do you know? No?
Oh, it's Alex over there.
Here he is, the man in back.
Alex is a fan.
Love Roundhouse.
All right. So I have a lot of these like production photos. I refer to them as one sheets because that's what we call them in the music industry. I don't know on TV whether that's the correct term or not, but so this is a promotional still for Roundhouse.
Cool.
This is a season 1 still, and what's cool about this is that it's dated August 14th, 1992. So this was printed in the paper the day before Snick premiered to tell the world about this brand new TV show called Roundhouse. And the caption's interesting. It says, Nickelodeon puts music and comedy back on television for kids with the all-new variety series Roundhouse, airing every weekend on Snick. So there you go.
Before all that did it, Roundhouse did it.
Mm-hmm.
And did it better. Fight
People
me.
forget. Yeah, people forget Roundhouse. And honestly, I didn't grow up with it up until I started being here on the podcast and watching episodes of it. It was a lot better than all that, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
the kids, and I'll say kids, but most of them I think were over the age of 18. They were so talented.
They were.
Oh, extremely. Like mile a minute. Just like, wow.
Yeah, and
there's so many jokes that went over my head, but just like the talent, the dancing, the singing, the comedic timing, the everything. Like they're way better than Disney kids. You can fight me on that too. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Mickey Mouse Club got Roundhouse, man. Jeez. These guys have style.
All right, going along with the Roundhouse theme here, I also have put these things down. I've got a ticket for a Roundhouse taping.
Nice.
Cool.
And this one's dated, when is this dated? Oh, July 16th, 1993. So this was episode, I got it written down here. Episode 210, season 2, episode 10.
Is that in the CBS studio, by the way?
Yes. Yeah, this was right after they moved to California.
Okay. All right. I was curious about that because I've seen some of those on eBay as well. So like, curious.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a hot topic. That move, I can only imagine the executives kicked themselves for years because they allowed them to move to California. Because that was Nick Studios was in Florida to avoid the unions. And it was, a lot cheaper. And there's a lot of background. Someday I'll let, hopefully the guy I got this info from tells this story, but there's a lot of background there about why the show was canceled. And one of the reasons was
really
they could not.
There's a lot of animosity between Nickelodeon and Rebel Studios. A lot.
Oh.
Yeah, it's why you never see Roundhouse in any sort of home release. It's why they developed all that. There's a lot of it's not my story to tell. I'll let someone else tell it, but there's a lot of background there.
I will say they did allude to quite a bit of that in our 30th anniversary episode.
Yeah. All right. So from a Roundhouse crew member, I purchased a big box of tapes. And these tapes are, I didn't know exactly what was in them, other than I'd seen a few pictures and had a pretty good indication of what these tapes were. So I've got several here. I'll kind of go one by one. But what the box was all production quality tapes of Roundhouse episodes.
Yeah.
And so here's the very first episode right there.
I've got some things I got to tell you about this before you move on to the next thing. Okay. But go ahead and keep going.
Yeah. So these are there's the label on the inside there. So these are not master tapes per se. Like a master tape, would be a lot bigger. These are VHS dubs. So right, probably maybe as they're rolling, they're dubbing to VHS as well. So there's the very first Roundhouse episode there. And then to go along with the ticket, I pulled episode 1210. So this is the episode that was produced when whoever owned that ticket would have seen the show.
Nice.
And it's all, Rebel Entertainment Roundhouse show 1210. This is really interesting. Several of the tapes have titles, like the show title, what the title of that episode was,
Mhm.
and none of them match the general convention
Oh,
of
that
what's
does
out
not
there
surprise me.
Yeah. So episode 1210, this one was called Summer Vacation. But if you look online, every everywhere that lists Roundhouse episodes would call this Summertime Blues. So
Mm.
I don't know. Did the script say Summer Vacation? Is that what it was called? Did an executive in Nickelodeon decide to rename it? That stuff happens. Who knows? But I've just finished the process of digitizing all these tapes.
Oh, you are a saint.
I'm working on. There's a couple tapes I haven't been able to digitize yet, just because I don't have the right equipment to play back. So I'm working on that. But they're
I want to have some
98%
questions for
digital.
you about your setup there after we
Sure.
stop filming. But yeah.
Yeah, I'd be happy to answer. I'm working on a way to get these into the hands of Roundhouse fans. So there's you walk a fine line there. I'm in consideration of the tift between Nickelodeon and Rebel Entertainment,
Hmm.
and there's some legality there and stuff, but you know, the quality episodes just don't exist.
No.
Mm.
Yeah, the what was the block that aired, several years back on Nickelodeon? They played a couple Roundhouse episodes on
Oh.
it. Somebody captured those. Those are on YouTube.
The
Yeah.
Splat.
The Splat.
Yeah.
The Splat and the
Splat,
90s are
yeah.
all that, or a couple of
Yeah.
them in the early 2000s, 2010s.
But the majority of what you find on YouTube is terrible quality. It's really
Yes.
bad quality.
So-
And I'll tell you, after watching some of these episodes, this is weird to say, but I enjoy it that so much more. Like I can follow
Yes.
better. The audio is better.
Mhm.
I can hear what they're saying. It doesn't just sound like, Speedy Gonzalez delivery because the
Mhm.
lines had to be said so fast. You can actually articulate what they're saying. I can enjoy the band and the music without
Yes.
tape hits in the
Yes.
background.
Oh, I can't wait. So
So also in this, oh, go ahead, Alex.
you shared on Instagram a section of the tape. I shared that reel with almost all of the Roundhouse cast, and I gotta tell you some of the responses I got because you would appreciate
awesome.
them. First of all, John Crane said, "Just saw this, so fun." Crystal Lewis just gave it a heart. Julene Renee said that she loved it. David Sidoni sent me a gif of himself just screaming, just going, "Ah!" Sean Munoz, who was also on the Go Figure with us, said, "No, I cannot support this because I'm not in this episode." And I just got a message on my way home from work today from Jennifer C. He said, "Yes, love it. So many fantastic memories on this job / project." So those were some of the responses I got from the Roundhouse crew, and even Mark
Very
David.
cool.
I think even in on your comments whenever you had shared the picture that you got, this was like, digitize this now. Like even the cast is like, get this out there.
Yeah. Well, this is a standing offer to any cast member. Send me a message, and when I don't know how I'm going to package it or put it out there, but when I figure that out, I'll have a copy, on its way to you via USPS as quick as I can, and that's beyond me. Obviously, no charge there. Also in this box were, and hopefully the cast will really love this. There's offline cuts. And so this is episode 1305. I don't remember what the title is, but this was shot April 28th, 94, I believe. Offline cut is basically a run through.
Wow.
They would rehearse the show and rehearse every mark and camera position and band, and so it's so trippy. Seeing these played out, because I've watched Roundhouse for years. I watched it when I was a kid. I loved it when I was a kid. I've rewatched it as an adult. Like I know these episodes back and forward, but to watch them performed it's like the same thing, the same lines, but it's totally different. It's like Bizarro World.
Like
They're wearing different
rehearsed.
clothing.
not in the
yeah.
right mark. It's a little
Yep.
different.
Yep. The
That's
camera
cool.
angles are a little bit different than what I'm used to. Yeah, it's very trippy.
Oh,
But
that's
there's a bunch of
neat.
these too.
Nice.
And they're, just sometimes you see the cast doing, fun stuff. And I think
I'm
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
fun stuff that I can't talk about on a podcast. But yeah, there's a couple run throughs, at least one run through, where a certain cast member who was only in season one is present, and it looks like he's maybe a stand-in because he wasn't in that season, but he's maybe just helping out or just there to visit and just hanging out. So it's really cool to see that stuff. Also, I gotta assume this was lost media up until now, because at some
Alex is
point
flailing.
at some point in there's forthcoming more lost media
Oh yeah,
forthcoming.
yeah.
Um, at some point, the cast of Roundhouse hosted the MTV Countdown, and I've never read about this anywhere. Does that
Ooh.
ring a bell, Alex? Have you ever
No,
heard
that's
about
new
that?
to me.
Yeah. So
That's nice.
this was shot on November of '93, and so I don't know if it was November or December of '93 when they hosted, but this is all of the bumpers for MTV Countdown.
Wow.
Oh,
And
that's
Wow.
neat.
they're sitting on set pieces. It's shot at the studio in the set. And there's a good, gosh, well, it's the whole, MTV Countdown, and there's a bumper and an introduction for every song coming in. So so yeah, really fun to see that. This will be part of the set whenever I
Wow.
figure out how to put it out there.
Yeah, I
Is it
know.
like long cuts of like you hear the director in the background going like, "All right, and 3, 2."
A
Is
little
there
bit,
stuff like
a
that?
little bit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
not a whole lot, but it is the pre-edit. So this, the camera would have been sent, cameras feed live to the editing bay,
Yeah.
and this is a dub of the masters.
Oh, cool.
So yeah. So two more tapes to show here. This is really interesting, and it just goes to show. I talk about it a lot, the low budgets in '90s Nick. So this is Roundhouse episode 1201. This was dubbed in June of '93. So I say 1201. Episode 1 of season 2 is the moniker there. And I'll hold this up to the camera. Hopefully you can read it. So this was, I can't believe this. This was originally a tape dub, or maybe the master. I don't know what they were doing in April of '89, but this is the very first episode of Don't Just Sit There. And this is a tape they had lying around, and
They
somebody
taped over
snagged
it?
They taped right over it. So there's the label.
Oh wow.
I don't know if you can read it or not. But it says
Yeah.
right on the label,
Wow.
Don't Just
Yeah,
Sit
we can
There,
see that.
episode
Oh,
101.
wow.
Wow. I can't believe they would just tape over that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Like that's hilarious and it hurts at the
It's so
same
sad.
time.
I know that happens, and it's sad.
Yeah.
That's like,
I was
hey,
really hoping.
it's like, hey,
So
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
record this episode. Where's here?
We're out
give
of
me that-
tapes.
Give me the first birthday tape. Let's record over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that happened a lot. That's I'm a
Yep.
big Elvis fan and Sun Records fan, and there's a lot of, hours of missing Elvis tapes that have been found with other artists, just unnamed, unknown artists, taped over them because Sam Phillips needed a tape. Oh, the take is hot. It's time to go. We got to get it. Just grab a tape and put it on the reel. And
I didn't
like,
know they
really
would do that.
monumental songs.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's
Wow.
like it squashes the hope though, because like if it's lost media, then it's like it might still be out there somewhere, and then you find something like that, and you're like, and it's gone forever. Cool, 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 cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I was really hoping because this is labeled at 29 minutes. The Don't Just Sit There episode is 29 minutes, and all the Roundhouse episodes are 27 minutes because they had 2 commercial breaks.
Yeah.
And so I was really hoping that I would have at least 2 minutes of the
2
episode on this
minutes.
tape. But unfortunately,
Oh.
no can do. They put tone bars at the start of it for
Oh.
alignment and stuff. So yeah, that's really unfortunate. All right, the other really exciting thing I found in this box of tapes from this Roundhouse crew member was all right. So this guy also worked on Clarissa Explains It All. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and so how am I going to deliver this? So he and he was a big fan of Roundhouse even at the time. It was just revolutionary, you know. So he recorded episodes on TV. So as I'm digitizing tapes, there's a lot of them unmarked. They just say Roundhouse on them, or like Roundhouse and the title of the episode squiggled on it. So I put the first one on, and it's a Snick block, and you guys know I love Snick. I collect Snick blocks. Nicktube actually got its start during the pandemic because I would stream full blocks of original 90s Snick on Saturday nights until the Facebook overlords took that away from me. But so I put this tape on, and it's a block of Snick, and I do my deductive reasoning and super sleuthing and realize, okay, this is from September 19th of 1992. So I'm like, great, I only have a couple blocks from 1992. I was really excited to get it. I put the next one on, and it's from September 12th of 1992. And I'm like, this is great. I couldn't ask for anything more. And this is just, I was super excited. So I'm continuing to digitize, and I put the next one on. The only thing it says is Roundhouse on the front there. And then it's labeled New Family. And so I put it in, rewind it, and start watching it. And I realized that one of my Grail finds was in my hands. It was a copy of the first premiere of Snick, August 15th, 1992. And I've been looking for a copy for years. I have saved searches in multiple online venues to help me find a copy. I've recreated it. In fact, it was like the first sort of my foray into Snick before I even realized people had recordings, actual broadcasts. I recreated a version of the very first Snick. So I was astounded. So I honestly, I haven't even watched the whole block all the way through yet. I'm waiting to do that with my wife. I think we're going to do that this Saturday. But I've watched, chunks of it as I've digitized and scrolled through. So I've discovered some things that nobody's ever mentioned or talked about before. And the first thing I'll share with you is that the premiere of Snick was also the premiere of Slime Time Live. And you guys, if you've ever seen like a 1993 block, summer block that had Slime Time Live hosted by Mike O'Malley, well, this is Slime Time Live hosted by Phil Moore. And yeah, and it makes sense. Phil Moore was brand new to the network, so they're trying to get him out there and promote his show.
Yep.
They also have this brand new chroma keying technology.
Yeah.
So let's put, Phil Moore in front of some slime and do some live call-ins. So the premiere of Snick was a Slime Time Live. So would you guys like to see the clip of that? It's the very first, it's like coming out of the very first Slime Time Live call. And then you see the very first ever Snick bumper. Do you guys want to see it?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
No.
All right, here, I'll play the clip here.
Manny, you're fired.
Kicking Manny from the call. Goodbye.
And mute.
Hey game, a new TV, a new VCR, a Sega Genesis 16-bit video game system, a bunch of cartridges, and $100 for Kraft Handy Snacks. You took it all. Look at you. You look great. How do you feel? Oh, Joe, listen, you gotta tell me, what is the only network for you? You got it. Now, gang, listen, Sam and I are going to sit back and watch an all-new episode of Clarissa Explains It All. I'll see you in 30 minutes for more Slime Time on Nick.
Slime Time was brought to you by Pizza Hut, Sega Genesis, Kraft Handy Snacks, and Nickelodeon. Snick.
That's Snick.
The Snickers.
Snick's there. Snick's here.
It's sneaking out.
Saturday night, Nickelodeon.
It's Snick.
Snick.
We're going to Snick.
And you can snick
It's time to Snick.
now.
So there you go.
Wow.
The first time Snick ever premiered August
Dude,
15th,
and the
1992.
quality is astounding.
Right.
Yes, well, he was a professional, a crew member. He had access to good equipment, and
Yeah.
so yeah, the quality's really good.
Bravo.
Um,
That's amazing,
Wow.
man.
Yeah, it's
Jeez.
so fun. I can't wait to watch the whole thing. And I offered to Alex, if the offer still stands, if you'd like, I'd love to host one of your live streams on a Saturday night, maybe, and we could watch this together with all of your Patreons.
Yes.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the most exciting part here, that was fun. Oh, by
That's
the way,
not
did
the
you
most
guys-
exciting part.
That's not the most exciting part here yet.
There's more.
Did you guys?
What else would
Unrelated.
there be?
Did you guys see where Fillmore was shooting from?
Roundhouse.
Yeah, Roundhouse.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Roundhouse set, right? They were trying to promote this new show,
Mhm.
All right, so the most exciting thing was when I got towards the end of the tape to see the Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. So it's always been reported. Are you guys aware of the very original Are You Afraid of the Dark introduction?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, blue sky with the
Yep.
door opening. Yep.
Oh,
So
Lightning
it's
flash.
always been it's always been reported that only aired on YTV in Canada and only aired during the pilot. And so I have a copy of the pilot premiere on Nick on VHS. Unfortunately, it has the intro cut off, so I've never been able to confirm what intro was actually played on Nickelodeon.
Until now.
Until now. And so this is interesting. I always assumed that the reason that it never aired on Nickelodeon was because they had to recut the pilot into the new cast, the new Campfire cast. And when you do that, then you would just automatically add in the new introduction. But this is confirmation that the original pilot aired on the premiere of Snick, the premiere of the original introduction, rather, aired on the premiere of Snick, premiere of Are You Afraid of the Dark? It blew my mind because to my knowledge, this is the only copy in the world of like an original recording of that. And it confirmed some things that I've always, heard reported, but now we can confirm is wrong. The original introduction did in fact premiere on Nickelodeon with not the pilot, right? This is the Tale of the Phantom Cab on this episode. So
Wow.
I've got that queued up. Do you guys want to see it?
Yes.
Yes.
There's also I took the clip back a little bit. You see like a Nickelodeon bumper, and maybe you guys have seen this one before. I've never seen it before. So tell me, tell us in the comments if you've ever seen this Nickelodeon bumper before. All right, you guys ready?
Yes. Go for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It was awesome. I will see you on Monday. Right now, let's sit back and watch Are You Afraid of the Dark here on Snick. Yeah.
Slime Time was brought to you by Pizza Hut, Sega Genesis, Kraft Handy Snacks, and Nickelodeon.
Yes. So weird.
Yeah, I have that one.
We're called the Midnight Society.
So there you go. I won't play too much more of it because of copyright
Yeah.
issues, but
What was your feeling like before you saw that? Were you like, I think I'm right, or I think I'm wrong, or here it comes? Like, I gotta know, like, what was going through your head when you were
So
first viewing this?
when I put the tape in initially, and I saw it was on an episode of Ren and Stimpy, or the episode of Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
And it was Powder Toast Man. So like I knew, I'm familiar with the lineup, the original lineup. So in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be awesome if,
Yeah.
So I rewind a little further and I see the Slime Time Live segment, and I wasn't even thinking Fillmore instead of Mike O'Malley. So my mind went right to, oh, okay, this must be from 1993, because that's when the Mike O'Malley Slime Time Live segments aired. So then I rewound all the way to the beginning, and I saw the what clip that we just saw with previous to the one we just saw, where Fillmore is introducing a brand new Clarissa episode. And so I started watching, and this is the Clarissa episode called Total TV. So now I'm like, okay, brand new. I know this one premiered on Snick, on the premiere of Snick.
Yeah.
So I fast forward, I see Roundhouse, the new family episode. And then, I always kind of use the commercials to date when it premiered. A really great method of dating original TV recordings is movie advertisements, because they always tell you when the movie's coming up. And so this one happened to be a movie that came out a week after the premiere. As I got towards the end, the other two tapes, the September 19th and September 12th one of them is missing the Clarissa episode, and one of them is missing the Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. So because this one had the Clarissa episode, I thought for sure the Are You Afraid of the Dark episode would be missing. So as I was playing, the Slime Time Live segment that we just saw is going off. Fillmore says, here's Are You Afraid of the Dark? And then that bumper plays and my heart's beating. I'm like, no, is it here? And then the title card comes up where it says, presented by DJ McHale and Ned Candle. And that's not normal to the podcast.
Yeah.
And so right away, my mouth started dropping. I feel like such a nerd saying this, but
No,
I
been there, dude.
We are the
we're
nerds too. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm on the edge of my seat, dude. Like, yeah.
I've never had this experience before where my mouth is open ajar. But that's exactly what happened to me. As I was watching, I was just like, I couldn't believe what I was saying. I was trying to process. I was so excited. I immediately, by that time the tape had transferred. I transferred it overnight, so I wasn't watching it in real time. So I quickly edited a clip to toss on my phone, and I ran downstairs and told my wife, and was just so excited. And so it was a thrill to find that's an original recording of the premiere of Snick has been on my, probably, if not at the top, maybe number 2 on my list of, I really want to find these. So excited to finally find it.
That's awesome, man.
That's a great feeling, man.
So this is what I told the crew, and you and I know this because I told you this already, but I told the crew that we're going to have Carl on for an episode of Collector's Corner. He has a piece of that changes just a little bit of Nickelodeon history, and that you said your jaw had dropped, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what is it?" And I said, "You're gonna have to wait." They were so mad at me.
2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I was like, wait,
Well, at the time, we didn't have a date yet. We didn't have a date yet.
Yeah.
It was a complete mystery.
Evil!
And I knew that we were gonna play this in a future slime stream, so we'll be able to watch all of this. But yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. I'm super excited to do that with you guys and with the Patreon supporters. That's something that I'm really looking forward to doing. I'm going to be right here on the couch. I'll have my wife next to me. We'll have a big bucket of popcorn and ready to go.
That's
I'm
awesome.
so excited, man.
Man,
That's gonna
that's
be
great.
Well, that's all I brought with me tonight. I told you there was a theme.
No, you can't.
Thank you so very much for sharing all of that.
Yes.
Like
Carl, always a pleasure, man.
my face
The pleasure is
hurts.
all
Man.
mine. I'm so thrilled to get to be a part of this with you all, and you all know, I love sharing parts of the collection. Still working on a way to get it out to a convention, doing like a mobile museum type thing. So hopefully, in the future we'll have something like that, or maybe if a certain podcast decides to host their own Nickelodeon convention, I'd be happy to bring the collection by.
Do you know any?
Manny, you're fired again.
I played the fifth.
Oh man.
But anyway, thank
you so much.
Yes,
Seriously. Thank you.
Carl is one of those. Anytime that he takes the time to show up for these, I get so giddy because he's got the coolest stuff. Like him and Russ, they are my top two guys for anything to do with collections. They have the coolest things and the greatest stories. But this, I've been so pumped about this.
Me too.
Keeping secrets kills me. So like. My crew,
you wouldn't know it.
Yeah,
oh man, I'm terrible.
I wouldn't know either.
Like when it comes to birthdays and things, Christmas, like I'll get a birthday present and say, "Do you want it early?" Like I can't wait to give this stuff away. So it's like, no, I can't take this away from them. They've got to experience this firsthand. But it killed me to not say anything. But
that's great.
As always. Thank you so much, everybody. Go support Carl. Go to 90s NickTube. I will announce whenever we are going to do the slime stream that's going to feature his tape the premiere of Snick. So if you guys want to get in on that, you know where our Patreon is. We make it known. Go check it out. But gosh, I've got nothing else, dude. Just thanks. That's freaking awesome, as always.
Yeah. Well, the pleasure's all mine. Thanks again for having me, guys.
Oh, our pleasure.
You're welcome.
Thank all of you for tuning into this episode. I hope you guys had just as much fun as we did. I think I need a cold shower after this episode. So we'll splat you guys later.
Splat you later.
This episode was recorded at Splat Attack Studios in virtual home studios, though none in Florida.